What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having yourselves a wonderful day. Hope you're enjoying the cooler weather wherever you're at, unlike down here in Florida where it's, getting toward the middle of November and we're still in 85 plus degree weather. But anyway, today we're going to be jumping into some more SCP Foundation goodness here with the Exploring series. We're going to be checking out more beneficial SCPs. He did another video that I did a reaction to previously called Beneficial SCPs, where we got in talking about the various beneficial SCPs that there are, and so this appears to be a sequel where he's going to go over a few more. So we're going to check this one out. Links will be down below in the description to the original channel without my commentary reaction, and to the Exploring series channel. Do me a favor, click those links if you enjoy this video, give it a like and a sub, and if you haven't already subscribed to the Exploring series and you've been enjoying his content, please do me a favor hitting that sub button on his channel. If you would like to join us when we do these reactions live, we'd love to have you guys come in here and join the discussions. When I do these reactions live, there is a join button underneath the video, as well as a link in the description to the YouTube membership benefits and tiers that I offer. And yeah, we'd love to just hear your guys' thoughts on any discussions that we bring up. But with all that said, let's jump into the video here. Boop. Sounds good. Let's go.
More beneficial SCPs. As this series has continued, we've seen more and more horrific, dangerous, and disturbing anomalies.
It's also interesting that we're starting off with a guy smoking, and obviously cigarettes are not very healthy for you, so.
Including plenty that threaten humanity's entire existence.
Numerous of them.
A casual fan of SCP could easily be mistaken in assuming that's all that comprises the SCP universe.
I mean, that does seem to be the most popular stories, are the ones with, world-ending threats or some kind of, eldritch otherworldly horror. And some of the older ones are still hold up and popular because of just, the SCPs that are in them. But for the most part, yeah, it seems like a lot of grander stories where the world is ending in some grandiose way do seem to be the ones that everyone enjoys.
But that is not the case, as there are a good handful that are practically entirely beneficial to mankind.
Very true.
I've already covered a number of these in my previous video, Beneficial SCPs, but there are still plenty left to look at. Again, I won't be looking at any SCPs that could potentially be beneficial, but might also be harmful, instead focusing on ones that are entirely useful.
And I mean, there was also a bunch of them, although I was going to say there were several of them that he talked about in the Man of Charitable Foundation video that we did, but those aren't necessarily always 100% beneficial. A lot of those are ones that depending on how they're used could have a positive benefit, or they have a positive benefit but certain side effects, like that honey that I believe it was some kind of honey that if you ingested and you had the right blood type, it could satiate your hunger and give you some other beneficial effects. So like you could feed a bunch of people with it, but if they didn't have the right blood type, it would cause them to be sick and potentially die, I think. Stuff like that. So
I'll actually be looking at a few anomalous humanoids this time, but let's first check out some more beneficial objects.
Bro, I haven't had Little Caesars in I don't know how long.
SCP-458 is a large-sized Little Caesars brand pizza box. When opened with human hands, always contains the holder's subconsciously chosen preferred choice of pizza.
Bro, I would gain like another 100 pounds instantly, like easy, just constantly just eating pizza, just nom 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 nom. Like, are you kidding me, dude?
Including their favorite sauce, cheese, crust, and toppings. While it is capable of making Little Caesars brand pizza, if that's the holder's choice, it is not limited to this, and can create.
It can make their favorite pizza ever. Like, you can just imagine the best pizza you've ever had ever, and it'll just make it. This is like a gift from God.
Pizzas from any chain restaurant, as well as local restaurants and even homemade. There's nothing wrong whatsoever with the pizza produced, and there's no sneaky gimmicks associated with 458. So,
I mean, like, could you like literally have it make a whole pizza in the box? You take that pizza out of the box, you pass it over to someone else, they make a pizza, and like, could you like literally just feed, you know, towns of people just passing this pizza box around? You know what I'm saying?
So it's currently freely available for use in one of the Foundation's cafeterias.
Damn.
Continuing the line of infinite consumables, SCP-109 is a standard issue U.S. Army canteen
Just
filled
keeps
with
refilling
water.
with water. Is that like the D&D alchemy job, you know? Only this one just only makes water.
No matter how much water is poured out of the canteen, it remains full of water.
I mean, obviously that would be pretty
The water
beneficial.
is described as very tasty, provides increased energy and an improved complexion after bathing in it, and seems to cure mundane infections after consumption. It's not especially special water, but there's an infinite amount of it. We're veering into D&D magic item territory though, so let's move on.
Yep.
SCP-124 is a small plot
My man, I'm on the same wavelength with him here.
of soil capable of growing any biological organism planted in it to its full potential in a short amount of time.
That would be dope.
The organism doesn't require any external nutrients or other resources,
Really?
including water, light, or pesticides. Food grown in 124 is reportedly of high quality, taste, and nutrition. It was recovered from a basement in Detroit when it was discovered that two teenagers were using it to grow large amounts of marijuana.
Of course, that's what it was used for. I forget what it's called. It's like Pretoria Earth or something like, or I forget exactly what it's called, but I've heard about it talked about on a couple different things, notably from Graham Hancock on any Joe Rogan podcast for anyone out there that watches, you know, them occasionally. But there's some kind of like super, you know, nutrient rich soil that was manufactured somehow by people in the Amazon, and it's like there's certain areas where it's abundant in Amazon, and it grows like plants and stuff like crazy, and they're supposed to be like super nutrient rich, you know, foods are made from it, etc. So like I'm just curious if the idea of this like soil was something someone kind of was based off that, you know what I'm saying? Like they heard something about that and they're like, that'd be kind of an interesting SCP story.
Among the experiments, the plants grew quickly and within parameters expected using 124, but planting other organisms got a little interesting. A small Labrador Retriever puppy was planted, resulting in a fully grown Labrador Retriever in peak condition.
How do you plant a
now
dog?
owned by a Foundation doctor.
I have questions. How do you plant a dog? Do you just like stick it in the ground and let it sit there and like bury it, and then all of a sudden it becomes full grown? Do you have to kill it? You know what I'm saying? Like what? Okay, we're just gonna plant dogs and start plucking them out of the ground now. Like, you do that to a human? You can like clone people that way now? Can you put like DNA of someone in the ground and they get a fully grown, you know, clone or something?
A human fetus was planted, resulting in
go.
the deaths of 6 personnel before the subject was terminated.
Yikes.
While this would generally be the end of testing, they went on to plant a fly larva, which apparently resulted in some pretty bad times.
Yeah, I lied a little. This part isn't entirely beneficial, but they shouldn't have done that. I mean, I kind of agree there. You're playing with some weird stuff, but that's the Foundation for you.
While this would generally be the end of testing, they went on to plant a fly larva, which apparently resulted in some pretty bad times.
I could
the level
see
5
that.
lockdown initiated.
Yeah, I feel like doing anything we were already going to enhance insects that it can already be like an ant, for example, that can already lift what, like 10 or 100 times its weight or some shit like that. Like, let's enhance it even more. Let's make super ants.
Resulted in some pretty bad times, with the level 5 lockdown initiated. Blending an anomalous object with an anomalous humanoid is SCP-3970, a former elementary school building.
Huh.
The building, or the entity that can control the building, is fully sapient, with the intelligence of an average 7-year-old. 3970 can sense even small amounts of pressure applied to any part of the building, and can also detect any heat levels within it, allowing it to basically see and feel.
Interesting.
It can communicate by rearranging chalk dust on any blackboard present in the building, and can read anything written on said blackboards. As for controlling the building, SCP-3970 can move floor and ceiling tiles, reconfigure electrical wires and piping, move walls, remove or relocate doors, and activate fire suppressant systems.
So, like, did a kid die and his, like, soul somehow merged with this elementary school? And, like, how does that work? Or, like, when they were done constructing this building, some, like, entity's, soul or consciousness or whatever somehow merged with this building? That's kind of fascinating, honestly. You have a sentient building that can communicate through chalkboards and, understand what's written on chalkboards, can communicate back and forth that way. I then also wonder, like, can it have multiple conversations at the same time, like in different classrooms if people are talking with it? Or is it able to, like, keep up with them? Can it have one at a time, etc.?
The building was a functioning elementary school for quite some time, until the Foundation came in and had to use it as a temporary containment site for another SCP. Whatever that SCP was, the containment of it seemed to result in 3970's creation.
There we go. There's the origin story. They had some other entity contained in there and something happened and it merged with the school.
After a number of missing person reports after the Foundation left, they came back to check it out, finding a new brick wall placed in the building. Demolishing the wall, they found the bodies of the 7 missing people, along with a normal magic 8-ball.
What?
3970 wrote a message on one of the blackboards reading, "Please don't hurt me." During initial communication with 3970, it says that it killed those people because it's just trying to help the Foundation. Rather than containing 3970 and forgetting about it, they instead brought in some tutors and continued to teach it, resulting in 3970 greatly improving in its writing.
Interesting. So it says it understands who the Foundation is, like Foundation personnel, I guess, and communicated with them that, hey, don't hurt me. I killed these people because they were a threat to the Foundation. So like, who were these people? Were they like another faction, Chaos Insurgency, something else? One of the other hostile factions that were out there doing things, and they just happened upon this place, and this entity recognized who they were, and they were a threat to the Foundation and killed them. Like, I don't know. That's kind of an interesting story. I might want to dive into that one a little deeper and check it out. I'll have to get the SCP number for that one, and I might have to look into that a little bit more. Anyway, let us continue.
Teach it, resulting in 3970 greatly improving in its writing. Eventually, the building of 3970 was greatly expanded, resulting in the entity fully controlling a Foundation containment facility.
That's cool.
The entity displays an intense desire to aid the Foundation, but expresses a lot of anxiety about containing anomalous objects, so it's not usually told that the objects are actually anomalous.
I feel like you would understand
Overall,
that at some point, though,
the Foundation considers the project a big success.
Great success.
SCP-208 is a short, stout man of Egyptian heritage, covered in a great deal of hair. He is capable of inducing rapid cellular regeneration and reconfiguration within
like an Egyptian, like I'm getting like the fantasy dwarf archetype, like something from Lord of the Rings, but with Egyptian theme. You know what I mean? Like, interesting.
Inorganic life forms, resulting in healing most physical ailments. He accomplishes this through the release of a unique form of radiation, which occurs in small doses naturally around him, but can be focused to increase the intensity. Those near 208 report feelings of wellness and ease, making him popular among Foundation personnel.
I bet.
Especially since 208 is jovial and friendly.
It literally sounds like Egyptian, like Tom Bombadil or something. You know what I mean? Like, interesting.
He also possesses the ability of seemingly warding off ill intent, meaning that any malicious individuals feel extreme unease in his presence and attempt to.
I wonder if this character is based off some kind of Egyptian mythology that I'm not familiar with. I'm not an expert and by any means in Egyptian mythology, but I know a decent amount about their gods and stuff like that, but I can't think of one off the top of my head that this person could like be a reference to, or, you know, if there's some kind of pharaoh in Egyptian mythology that he could be a reference to or something like that. Interesting.
To flee. 208 was found in Egypt during a search for an unrelated SCP, after a foot was found sticking out of the Nile River, connected to a block of granite. 208 was found alive inside of the stone.
Bro, did the mafia literally like get a hold of this man and like, you're sleeping with the fishes? They put him in a concrete brick and threw him into the Nile? Like, what?
Of course, 208 is
mafia?
connected to an ancient Egyptian deity,
Bes,
Bes,
there we go.
who was worshipped as a protector of households and as a god of the good things in life, including music, dance, sex, and drinking. Bes was among the most popular of the Egyptian deities, with many having images of him around their homes for protection, and dancers and servant girls having tattoos of Bes on their thighs.
Okay.
Naturally, SCP-208 has become known by most Foundation staff as Bes, and he has taken the position of an assistant in the medical wing of a site. SCP-500 pills were shown to be a much more effective cure than 208's abilities, but Bes commented that he tells better jokes.
Well,
Another
I mean,
humanoid with some healing properties.
He can also like keep doing it where eventually those pills run out.
These is SCP-13 and 208's abilities, but Bes commented that he tells better jokes. Another humanoid with some healing properties is SCP-1338, a male entity resembling a child. 1338 can use plant matter to create healing substances, although they only work while within his presence.
Like a druid of some sort?
These healing properties aren't too impressive, mostly curing headaches, upset stomachs, or shallow cuts, but they have been shown to heal broken bones overnight.
That's dope.
1338 was found in the Blue Ridge Mountains, but any attempts to transport him away from that place results in the rapid deterioration of his health until he is returned.
Interesting. So it's like, is he like some kind of nature spirit that's like connected to, is he like literally a druid of the Blue Ridge Mountains? Which, by the way, the Blue Ridge Mountains is a beautiful area. But that's like, I don't know, it's kind of fascinating. Of all the places, I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't think about the Blue Ridge Mountains as like someplace a druid would be, but I don't know. That's just because I guess it's in America, you know?
So instead, a perimeter was set up around him. Although 1338 possesses the ability to heal human or animal ailments, it seems his primary concern is making substances that help plants grow, or to otherwise aid in communing with nature. He mentions having a mother and father that lived together, but his father was taken away by some men who wanted to sail across an ocean.
Is this a reference to like Adam Alisem and stuff like that or something? Like, I'm trying to think in an SCP, like the only thing I can think of is like, you know, the Night Children wanting to come after him, or one of the I can't remember, not the Autopapadopoulos, you know, people, the Adam Alisen's stuff, but the Sky Lords from the Cactus Verse, if he's one of their offspring that somehow got lost over here, and maybe he's a child somehow of one of those humans, one of those first men, and a Fae. I don't know. That would be interesting.
With nature. He mentions having a mother and father that lived together, but his father was taken away by some men who wanted to sail across an ocean. Afterwards, his father was used to help them cross a new land, but he decided he didn't want to help them anymore and ended up in the mountains. 1338 is trying to help heal his father, thus why he stays in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Okay, so no, that has nothing to do with anything that I was thinking about.
Long story short, 1338 is the child of two trees, and his father was cut down to build a ship used by colonists to sail to America. His mother remains in England, and occasionally 1338 will visit her, but he mainly wants to heal his father so they can be reunited.
Interesting.
Finally, we have SCP-4999, a humanoid resembling a middle-aged man wearing a dark suit.
That pose is just reminding me of like the Dos Equis guy, you know? I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I choose Dos Equis. You know, it's like that same kind of pose.
4999 is uncontained by the Foundation, as he only appears before one person at a time around the world, and disappears shortly after. All subjects that 4999 appears before are either in terminally poor health, critically injured, or otherwise on their deathbeds. 4999 will only appear if they are conscious and alone, and only shortly before their death. Once appearing, 4999 will stand or sit next to the subject, remove a pack of cigarettes from its jacket pocket, and offer one to the subject. If they accept, 4999 will place one in the subject's mouth and light it. Otherwise, it will just light one for itself. Typically, the entity will then hold the subject's hand, or rest a hand on their shoulder, until they pass away. 4999 will then disappear. So far, identified subjects that were visited by 4999.
I wonder if that is... It's been forever since I saw that. I think it's Meet Joe Black, that movie with Brad Pitt, where I think he's supposed to be like the Angel of Death or something like that. It's been forever since I saw it. I don't really remember it that well. But I wonder if he's like a reference to that character in some way.
Here. So far, identified subjects that were visited by 4999 share a number of common attributes, meaning that the entity is much more likely to appear if the subject lives alone, is non-religious, is impoverished or homeless, displays a history of mental illness, or is a military veteran. Also, if the subject has no criminal record, has no currently surviving family, is unmarried or lacks any significant other, has little to no social standing in their community, has no record of any significant professional or personal accomplishments, or has few to no interpersonal relationships. In other words, if a subject possesses qualities or a life history that have rendered them nondescript, anonymous, neglected, or otherwise unremarkable by social standards, 4999 is far more likely to appear as they die.
I wonder why that is. I wonder... I wonder if it's just a situation where this being is trying to comfort people who have no one else in their last moments. If it's that kind of a situation. Part of me also wonders, I mean, it's in the beneficial SCP list, but part of me also wonders, is this some kind of being that like feeds off of that, you know, like seeks people who have no one and nothing, and, you know, feeds off their souls or something like that as they're dying. I don't know. But because it's in the beneficial SCP, you know, list here that he's going through, I feel like that's not the case. But yeah, it's interesting that it's people that essentially are, I guess, would be considered like outcasts from society, that have no one, they have no family, they live alone, they have nothing. And so it's like, seems like it's a situation where, yeah, in their final moments, this being just comes and sits next to them so they don't die alone. Interesting.
4999 became known to the Foundation after footage from hospital security cameras began spreading across the internet, and more footage of the entity has cropped up over the years. Writings and artistic depictions of a figure resembling 4999 have apparently existed for thousands of years, however, in some cases predating human civilization. While it's true some people have the privilege of passing away surrounded by friends and family, many do not, dying alone and without recognition. It's nice then that 4999 can appear before some of them and offer some comfort in their final moments. There are plenty more SCPs that can in some way be considered beneficial or helpful to the Foundation or the world at large, but I maintained a pretty strict set of criteria for these videos.
There are ones that are strictly beneficial.
I'm sure I didn't grab all of the ones that fit that criteria for these 2 videos, but the point is that they're out there, and that not all SCPs are unfeeling monsters, diseases, or other scary anomalies. While I can't promise there will ever be a 3rd part of this little series, it's just nice to know that there are always some lights in any dark universe.
True. Very true. Another quote. No subject thus far has been seen to recoil from or otherwise resist the entity, nor have any attempted to engage it in conversation. Despite multiple instances of subjects acknowledging the entity's presence via eye contact, adjusting posture to reciprocate or facilitate the entity's touch, breaking into tears when noticing its presence, or verbally thanking the entity when offered a cigarette. SCP 4999. Well, there we go. There we go. That was more Beneficial SCPs by the Exploring series. Links will be down below in the description as always, to the original video without my commentary and reaction, and to the Exploring series channel. Please do me a favor, if you enjoyed this video, click the link and go give it a like. And if you enjoy the Exploring series content and you haven't hit that sub button on his channel, do me a favor, go over there and do that. You know, show the man some love. Hit him up, give him some support. First off, you would have to keep that Little Caesars box away from me, dude. Like, pizza, who doesn't like pizza, right? And like, you could literally like manifest whatever kind of pizza you want to from anywhere at any time, nice and hot and fresh right out of the box. Like, you just open it and there you go. Like, and it doesn't, I mean, I assume the SCP Foundation doesn't charge people for that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just there in the cafeteria and people can just make their whatever. Like, I don't know, man. Like I said, I would definitely be a lot fatter than I already am. You know what I'm saying? Like, holy. The druid one was kind of interesting with the kid. I'm just like calling it a druid one because I don't really know how else to really describe it. But yeah, I thought it had some kind of reference, because that's just where, again, the cactus verse has kind of become my overall like default headcanon for the SCP universe because of how well it was put together and done. So that's kind of my default thing to go back on, and it kind of gave me the idea of maybe this was some kind of secret child between, you know, some of the first humans and the Fae that people didn't, you know, necessarily know about, but seems to not be the case. It seems to just be, you know, some kind of human that was birthed by a set of trees. You know, one of them was used one of them was cut down and turned into a ship for people who came over here to colonize America, etc., etc. And then, of course, you know, the last one, it just sounds like, yeah, the Angel of Death, you know. Well, I guess not technically the Angel of Death, right? But because they're supposed to, it just visits specific people that have specific criteria that seem to be outcasts from society, that don't have anyone, and in their last moments gives them a little bit of comfort before, you know, they pass. Which, again, I wonder if it is a reference to that Meet Joe Black movie. If I'm remembering, I could be thinking of a different movie. You know, that name could be a different movie than what I'm thinking about, but I'm pretty sure it was something along those lines with Brad Pitt, where he was like death or something like that. And I don't know. it's been a long time since I watched it, but yeah. So again, that was more Beneficial SCPs by the Exploring series. Another great video. Links down below, like I said. If you enjoyed this video, as we went through it, you know, consider giving this a like and a sub, as it helps me and it helps the channel grow. If you'd like to join us when we do these reactions live, there is a excuse me, a join button down underneath the video. We'd love to have you guys come in here and join our conversations, you know, add your 2 cents to anything that we bring up, you know, any other topics that you might want to bring up as we go through. But yeah, there's a join button underneath the video, as well as the link in the description. If you've been around the channel for a while, decide you want to take your sport to the next level, check that out and see if any of that would have any interest for you. But regardless, thank you guys very much for taking the time out of your busy days to come hang out, watch the video. You know, we're getting towards holiday season here. We're getting towards the end of the year. Everything's starting to wind down. So I hope you guys are, you know, enjoying getting towards the end of the year, enjoying the cooler weather, and are, you know, getting ready to have, you know, a good holiday season, you know, with your families and whatnot. So, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful day. We'll see you next time.